Welcome to Veteach. Veteach is India's first learning platform especially designed for B.Tech students. On this platform, we provide university-specific video lessons for all B.Tech branches. Along with this, we provide training for campus recruitment, Ielts, TOEFL, etc. Whichever state or university you may belong to, Veteach will empower you. Please install our app and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The given passage is about glaciers. Let's go and read the questions first and then come back to the passage. The first set of questions are true or false questions. Glaciers exist only near the north and south poles. Glaciers are formed by a combination of snow and other weather conditions. Glaciers normally move at a rate of about 5 to 10 inches a day. All parts of the glacier move at the same speed. During the last ice age, average temperatures were much lower than they were during the previous ice ages. The next set of questions from 11 to 15 are meanings of the given words. We just have to match the words to their definitions, which are already given. So let's go back to the passage and try to understand. Section A. Besides the Earth's oceans, glacier ice is the largest source of water on Earth. A glacier is a massive stream or sheet of ice that moves underneath itself under the influence of gravity. Some glaciers travel down mountains or valleys, while others spread across a large expanse of land. Heavily glaciated regions such as Greenland and Antarctica are called continental glaciers. These two ice sheets encompass more than 95% of the Earth's glacial ice. Let's look at the meanings of underneath and encompass. The word underneath means directly below. Directly below. And the word encompass means including different things. Including different things. Let's look at the meaning of the given passage. What is the main idea of it? In this para, the author gives information about glaciers, what constitute the glaciers, and the author classifies the glaciers as continental glaciers, alpine glaciers, and temperate glaciers, and gives the characteristics of each of the mentioned glaciers. Section B. The majority of the Earth's glaciers are located near the poles, though glaciers exist on all continents, including Africa and Oceania. The reason glaciers are generally formed in high alpine regions is that they require cold temperatures throughout the year. In these areas where there is little opportunity for summer ablation, loss of mass, snow changes to compacted firn and then crystallized ice. During periods in which melting and evaporation exceed the amount of snowfall, glaciers will retreat rather than progress. While glaciers rely heavily on snowfall, other climatic conditions including freezing rain, avalanches, and wind contribute to their growth. 1 year of below average precipitation can stunt the growth of a glacier tremendously. With the rare exception of surging glaciers, a common glacier flows about 10 inches per day in the summer and 5 inches per day in the winters. The fastest glacial surge on record occurred in 1953 when the Kutia Glacier in Pakistan grew more than 12 kilometers in 3 months. In section B, the author talks about how majority of glaciers are located near the poles along with Africa and Oceania, and the author explains the reason for the same. Further, the author describes the primary reasons that contribute for the growth of glaciers, which are temperature, rain, wind, etc. The author gives information about the surging glaciers, which is an exception. What is the meaning of surging? Surging is sudden movement. Surge is sudden movement. Let's move on to the next section. Section C. The weight and pressure of ice accumulation causes glacier movement. Glaciers move out from under themselves via plastic deformation and basal slippage. Basal slippage. First, the internal flow of ice crystals begins to spread outward and downward from the thickened snowpack, also known as the zone of accumulation. Next, the ice along the ground surface begins to slip in the same direction. Seasonal thawing at the base of the glacier helps to facilitate this slippage. The middle of a glacier moves faster than the sides and bottom because there is no rock to cause friction. The upper part of a glacier rides on the ice below. As the glacier moves, it carves out a U-shaped valley similar to a riverbed but with much steeper walls and a flatter bottom. Section C discusses about the glacier movement and the mechanism of the movement. Further, as glacier moves, it makes a U-shaped valley and creates a landform. Section D. Besides the extraordinary rivers of ice, glacial erosion creates other unique physical features in the landscape such as horns, fjords, hanging valleys, and cirques. Most of these landforms do not become visible until after a glacier has receded. Many are created by moraines, which occur at the sites in front of a glacier. Moraines are formed when material is picked up along the way and deposited in a new location. When many alpine glaciers occur on the same mountain, these moraines can create a horn. The Matterhorn in the Swiss Alps is one of the most famous horns. Fjords, which are very common in Norway, are coastal valleys that fill with ocean water during a glacial retreat. Hanging valleys occur when two or more glacial valleys intersect at varying elevations. It is common for waterfalls to connect the higher and lower hanging valleys such as Yosemite National Park. A cirque is a large bowl-shaped valley that forms at the front of a glacier. Cirques often have a lip on their downslope that is deep enough to hold small lakes when the ice melts away. In section D, the author discusses about other physical features such as fjords, hanging valley, cirques, and these are the physical features that are formed due to glacier movements. Further, there is information about these physical features and how they're formed along with respective examples. Moving on to the last section of the passage, section E. Glacier movement and shape shifting typically occur over hundreds of years. While presently about 10% of the Earth's land is covered with glaciers, it is believed that during the last ice age, glaciers covered approximately 32% of the Earth's surface. In the past century, most glaciers have been retreating rather than flowing forward. Now, what is retreating? Retreating is going backward. It's going backward. It is unknown whether this glacial activity is due to human impact or natural causes, but by studying glacier movement and comparing climate and agricultural profiles over hundreds of years, glaciologists can begin to understand environmental issues such as global warming. This particular paragraph is about how much time it will take for the glacier movement, how over the time the glaciers are changing, and it also says that environmental issues such as global warming can be understood by studying the glaciers. Now let's move on to solving the questions. First set of questions are from 6 to 10 and these are true or false questions. Question number 6, glaciers exist only near the north and south poles. And the answer to this question is false. Firstly, only, the word only is an extreme word. Whenever you find such extreme words, please know that majority of the times it's false. I am reiterating, it's majority of the times, not all the time. In section B, it is given how glaciers are spread over all the continents, including Africa and Oceania. So this particular statement is false. Moving on to question number 7. Glaciers are formed by a combination of snow and other weather conditions. And the answer is true, which is given in section B. Question number 8, glaciers normally move at a rate of about 5 to 10 inches a day. The answer is true and you'll find out the answer when you go back to section B where it is mentioned 10 inches per day in the summer and 5 inches per day in the winter. So the answer is true. Question number 9, all parts of the glacier move at the same speed. The answer is false. You can find the answer in section C. The middle of a glacier moves faster than the sides and bottom because there is no rock to cause friction. Question number 10. During the last ice age, average temperatures were much lower than they were during previous ice ages. And the answer is not given because they've not compared different ice ages in the passage. Moving on to the next set of questions. Questions 11 to 15. You just have to find out the meaning of the given words, basically match them to the given definitions. Question number 11. A glacier formed on a mountain is... Smaller glaciers that occur at higher elevations are called alpine or valley glaciers. To question number 11, and the answer is B, alpine glacier. Question number 12, a glacier with temperatures well below freezing point, and the answer is polar glacier. D, which is given in the first section, section A. Polar glaciers in contrast always maintain temperatures far below melting point. Question 13. A glacier that moves very quickly. And the answer is surging glacier, which is H, which is given in section B, where we've already mentioned about surging glaciers, which is quick movements. So the answer is surging glacier, which is H. Question number 14, a glacial valley formed near the ocean. And the answer is Ielts, A, where they've given in section D. Ielts, which are very common in Norway, are coastal valleys that fill with ocean water during a glacial retreat. So the answer is Ielts. The last question, 15, a glacial valley that looks like a bowl. And the answer to this question is G, cirque, where they've mentioned in section D, a cirque is a large bowl-shaped valley. That is it for today, guys. Please subscribe for more videos.